My daughter humiliated me at dinner, comparing me to her mom's new husband. The restaurant was loud enough to drown my thoughts, but not hers. Her voice cut through the noise like glass against stone. "Dad, you should learn from him. He treats Mom better. He makes her laugh. He's more of a man than you ever were." The table went quiet. Forks froze mid-air. The waiter glanced at us, then looked away quickly, sensing the tension coiling in the air. And me? I didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't allow a single muscle to betray the storm tearing through my chest. Instead, I lowered my glass, set it carefully on the table, and let the silence stretch. Her words had already done the damage. They had lodged themselves in my bones, corrosive and permanent. My daughter, my blood, had compared me to the man who took everything from me. And worse, she said it with pride. That was the moment I knew. The betrayal wasn't just between my wife and me anymore. It had bled into my own daughter. And the truth had to surface. It wasn't the first time I had felt the weight of her distance. She laughed too easily when he was around. She rolled her eyes when I spoke, as if my words carried no weight, no authority. And whenever her mother's new husband entered the room, I became invisible. I tried to tell myself it was just teenage rebellion, a phase. But deep down, I knew better. She wasn't rebelling, she was choosing, and she wasn't choosing me. That night at dinner, the humiliation was deliberate, not just words spoken in frustration. It was a knife twisted, a declaration made in public, where I was powerless to respond without becoming the monster they painted me to be. My ex-wife smirked faintly, sipping her wine, enjoying the quiet destruction of my dignity. Her husband leaned back, smug, as though victory had always been his. And my daughter, the girl I raised, the girl I carried on my shoulders, the girl I once protected from monsters under her bed, looked me in the eye and sided with him. It wasn't just betrayal, it was erasure, and something inside me snapped into clarity. I didn't confront her that night. I didn't shout, didn't defend myself, didn't fight for her approval. No, I played the role they expected, the quiet, defeated man too broken to rise. But while I sat in silence, I began to dig. Old photographs, bank statements, receipts, call logs. I pieced together the timeline of betrayal, the nights I had been told she was working late while she was with him, the vacations she said were for business, the way money had quietly bled from our account before the divorce. Every puzzle piece fit too neatly, too perfectly, until the entire picture stared back at me in cold, undeniable clarity. It wasn't just infidelity, it was theft, manipulation, a calculated dismantling of my life brick by brick until I was left standing on rubble. And then there was my daughter. I found the messages, the little exchanges where her mother whispered poison into her ear, where she was fed a version of me that didn't exist, weak, cold, unworthy. She had been turned against me long before that dinner, shaped to see me not as her father, but as a shadow of the man who replaced me. I felt the anger pulse in my veins, but I didn't let it consume me. Rage is sloppy, and I refused to be sloppy. Instead, I planned. The next dinner wasn't public. It was in my apartment, my table, my rules, just me, my daughter, and a neatly stacked folder resting beside her plate. She frowned at it, confused. "What's this?" I gestured. "Open it." Inside were photographs, time-stamped, hotel rooms, trips, receipts with names that weren't mine, phone records highlighted in red. At the very bottom, the DNA test. She went pale as her eyes dragged over the words. Her fork slipped from her hand. "No," she whispered. That's not true." I didn't raise my voice, didn't gloat. "It's the truth. Your mother built a life on lies, and she pulled you into them." She shook her head, tears forming, denial clinging desperately. But denial couldn't erase the evidence staring back at her. I leaned forward, calm, deliberate. "He's not the man you think he is, and she's not the woman you believe she is. Every word she fed you about me was a projection of her guilt. You compared me to him at that dinner, and I let it pass. But now you see the truth, and it will never leave you." Her lips trembled, her eyes darted, searching for escape, for a way back to the comforting lie. But there was no way back. I had burned the bridge. I didn't call her mother. I didn't call him. I let my daughter carry the weight of truth back to them, a silent messenger with a folder full of destruction. And when she did, I heard the fallout secondhand, the screaming, the shattered glass, the unraveling of their carefully constructed world. Her mother called me once, just once. I didn't answer. The silence was louder than any words I could have spoken. As for him, her so-called new husband, he vanished from their lives not long after. Turns out, betrayal doesn't just eat at the betrayed. It eventually devours the betrayer too. And my daughter? She returned weeks later, quiet, broken in ways I couldn't fix. She asked me why I did it, why I showed her. I looked at her with the same cold calm I had carried from the beginning. Because lies were killing you. And I don't save people by shielding them from pain. I save them by showing them the truth. We don't talk the same anymore. The innocence of our bond is gone, fractured under the weight of betrayal and revelation. But I don't regret it, because in exposing her mother, I freed myself. I am no longer the shadow they painted me to be. I am no longer the man humiliated at dinner, shrinking under comparisons to the parasite who replaced me. I am clarity. I am the silence that dismantled their world. And my daughter will carry that truth for the rest of her life. Cold, brutal, permanent. The night she compared me to him was the night I died as her father. But the night I handed her the folder, that was the night I was reborn.